Oh, here's your Backstage pass.
Quiet on the set.
Action!
Welcome to Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Doll Group. This is your inside look into culture, curators, and creative artists. And now, your host, Shondra.
Welcome to all of you VIPs out there. You've got your Backstage Pass and you are in. And boy, do I have a show for you. Get ready for some really, really good stories with two of my guests. One of them is one of my sponsors, Nate Meyers, the executive director of the Sedona Heritage Museum, and a very dear friend and a very talented lady and musician. Oh, let me just tell you, Shaeri Richards. Can't wait for you to hear her stories, actually both of them. So before we do that, I want to tell you about a few things that are going on around town. By the way, for those of you who are coming into Sedona, and for residents too, those of you who live here in Sedona, always visit visitsedona.com, which is the Sedona Chamber of Commerce. I should say Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce. That is a wonderful site, visitsedona.com. It'll tell you about all kinds of events coming up all throughout the entire year. And another one is sedona.net. That will tell you about a ton of events. But here's a few things that are happening this week. July 5th through the 7th, the Sedona Film Festival. Get ready for this, you guys. They are doing the 41st anniversary re-release of one of my favorite movies, Spinal Tap. Now, for those of you who are in the business of music, you will understand this movie and you will laugh your rear ends off. I should say your butts off because I couldn't say rear ends. There you go. Spinal Tap at Sedona Film Festival, which is Mary D. Fisher Theater from July 5th through the 7th. And by the way, they also have what they call Movies on the Move. The next one coming up this week is Wednesday, July 9th at 7:30 p.m. at the Wild Resort and Spa. And it's Bohemian Rhapsody. That's about Freddie Mercury from Queen. So make sure you check that out. Great film, by the way. Now, another organization here in Sedona that has tons of things going on is Community Library Sedona. Now, both of these, of course, are nonprofits. Sedona Film Festival, Community Library Sedona. You can, by the way, I'm just going to back up a little bit. Make sure you visit sedonafilmfestival.com because you'll find all kinds of fabulous events, concerts, and movies. Take them in. Just find out, sedonafilmfestival.com. Then you will head over to communitylibrarysedona.org to find out about all the crazy and fun things that are happening over there. They've got Zumba. It's back, and it doesn't cost anything, I believe, at Mondays at 4 p.m. And also line dancing on Friday, July 11th. That's coming up from 2 to 3 in the community room. So that's fun. And then Sedona Art Center. You can visit sedonaartcenter.org to find out all that they've got going on. If you want to take some classes or want to go to a workshop or want to see some amazing exhibits, go find out about all that's going on there because they've got all kinds of things happening, including a gallery that features local artists that's open from Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So there you go. There's some things to do in Sedona. Well, as always, I love this part of the podcast because I get to speak with one of my show sponsors. And today I have Executive Director of the Sedona Heritage Museum, which is definitely a sponsor, show sponsor. I've got Nate Meyers with me. Hi, Nate. Welcome again.
Good to be back.
Yes, this is wonderful. So now I know that July includes the National Day of the Cowboy. And you're very involved in this, aren't you?
Yeah, National Day of the Cowboy is, I think it's like the last Saturday of July every year. And just kind of celebrating the history of the Old West and the pageantry of the cowboys and all that kind of thing. And so every year for National Day of the Cowboy, we partner with our friends over at Sedona International Film Festival and screen one of the Westerns that was shot in Sedona over the years.
Yes, I remember. Was it last year or the year before when you showed a movie with Elvis in it? And then somebody that we know was hinting for several weeks. Al Camello, if you're listening, I'm talking about you. Al, who was president of the board at the time, knew that I had been doing an Elvis Presley impersonation on stages for like years. And so he said, Do you know anybody who does an Elvis Presley impersonation? I knew where he was going with it, so I was like, not really. And then finally he said, come on. And so I did. I think that was maybe the first time you actually saw me on stage.
I think it was.
What a way.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And that movie was very interesting, wasn't it?
The movie was Stay Away Joe, starring Elvis Presley.
Yes.
And actually several other prominent actors, Burgess Meredith and others.
And it was made here.
It was made here in Sedona. 100% of it shot here in Sedona.
And what was so beautiful about that film, Nate?
Well, it's potentially the worst movie ever made. And in every way, a movie could be bad.
Right.
It's a bad movie.
It was a very misogynistic movie, I think.
It's extremely misogynistic. It's race. I mean, Elvis Presley is playing a Navajo man. I mean, it's the casting is not good. The writing's terrible. They obviously Elvis is going to sing in any song or in any movie he's in, right?
Which is funny in it to itself because where there's no segues.
Yep.
Just you start singing.
Yep. And he was so embarrassed about it that he didn't want them to release the song from that movie as a single because it's a ballad. He sings to a bull that he's trying to get excited about doing the things that bulls are supposed to be doing.
What?
And it's
good.
Just,
this has got funny written all over it. My goodness.
But yeah, our screening of it was kicked off with the one and only Shondra Jefferson doing an Elvis impersonation.
I thought that was really fun, actually. It was pretty fun. Well, this time, which movie are you showing?
This year, we're screening Drumbeat, which is I think it's from 1954. Stars Alan Ladd. I haven't watched it yet myself, so I'm looking forward to it. But some of these movies are Stay Away Joe is not a good movie, but others are really great movies. I mean, and I hear that Drumbeat is one that's really good. It's about the murder of an Indian, the murder of an Indian fighter who's seeking peace, actually, and it's based on a true story.
Wow. Are there real Native Americans that are playing? Probably not.
No, the Captain Jack was the actual Native American was known as who the story revolves around. Was actually known as Captain Jack. He's played by Charles Bronson in this movie.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that is
not the most enlightened casting.
No, and it wasn't back then. But there are some wonderful views of Sedona, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, great views of Sedona, and one of the really neat things about it that I'm excited about is that one of the shooting locations was the Shurman Homestead.
Oh, yeah.
Down off of the Loop Road on Loy Lane.
We did have an event, didn't we, there at the house, or was it at the Heritage Museum?
It was at the Heritage Museum a couple months ago, where we invited the neighbors who live in that area, and shout out to any of them who are listening, to come out and learn about the history of their neighborhood. And we had several come out. We had a good time. Shared some stories, and I think they learned something. They were able to share some stuff with us about the way they think about their neighborhood, and this is all part of trying to figure out. For those who don't know, the Sedona Historical Society actually owns the Shurman Homestead. It was donated to us in 2018.
Yes, and those of you who don't know who the Shurmans were were the very first winery here in Sedona, in the Verde Valley, actually.
In Arizona.
Yeah. Oh, in Arizona.
Yes.
They started the whole shebang,
Yep.
the whole wine thing. So for all you winos be out there, make sure that you when you get your glass of wine, just remember this all started with the Shurmans. Right?
Wine enthusiasts. Maybe not the
okay,
winos.
fine. I call them winos. I mean, come on. Really, this is Sedona's Backstage Pass. I'm talking like I'm behind the scenes. All right, so now, speaking of movies, there is a telegraph office right there at the Sedona Heritage Museum, right on the grounds. Tell us about the history of that. This is so cool, everybody. You have to go visit this. And we mentioned Al Camillo. Al tells the story of how the Heritage Museum had fundraised for the telegraph office to be transported, and it was in the middle of the night. This whole big telegraph office was transported by truck on platforms, I guess, to the Heritage Museum. It was something to be seen. He was there.
Mm-hmm. He was.
And he was there.
He's shared videos and pictures.
He's everywhere.
Must have been something.
Do you know he's everywhere?
Al is everywhere.
He is. Sedona Al.
He's Sedona Al.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the home or the telegraph office is on the grounds of the Sedona Heritage Museum. If you've been to the museum, you're driving up the driveway, you look to your right when you first get on the grounds. It's sitting right there, and that building has an interesting story. It actually began its life as the railroad depot in Winona, Arizona. Which is east of Flagstaff. And if anyone's ever heard of it, it's probably because they're a musician and they perform Route 66 all the time because the lyric is Flagstaff, Arizona,
yes.
Don't forget Winona.
Don't forget Winona. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sing it, Shondra.
I sing it a lot. I have in my career. So, okay, so it's a real deal. It's not a prop.
No. Well, yes and no. So Route 66... ironically comes through, and every railroad depot in every small town in America is suddenly obsolete because the mother road comes through and automobiles take over. And so it kind of falls into disuse, disrepair. And fast forward to 1946, 1947, and a guy by the name of John Wayne, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, most people haven't.
No.
John Wayne comes to Sedona in 46, 47 to shoot a movie called Angel and the Bad Man. And it's actually the first movie that he's a producer on, as well as a star of.
Fun times.
Fun, yeah. A little
we
bit
all
of
know
trivia
what that's
there.
like.
Yeah.
Not only acting,
We
but
do.
producing. It's a nail biter, everybody. Let me tell you.
So part of what he needs for this movie is a Western town movie set. And so the studio builds him here in Sedona a Western town movie set at the base of Coffee Pot Rock. And most of the set is just that. It's facades, maybe a door you can walk through, but they're not actual like rooms. You can't enter them. One of the exceptions is this telegraph office. So they go to Winona, they buy the railroad depot, they ship it to Sedona, and put it on this set, and they call it the Sedona Telegraph Office. And one of the opening scenes of the movie, John Wayne is hurt, and he has to send a telegram, and he goes into this telegraph office and dictates a telegraph, and off it goes. And
oh my gosh! So where was the where did they drop it off in Sedona? Where was the lot? Where was the movie lot?
Yeah, it's kind of up behind where Whole Foods is today.
Oh my gosh!
Below Coffee Pot Rock there.
Oh my gosh!
If you're familiar with the neighborhood, all the streets in that area are named after movies that were shot here.
Yes,
so like
that's
Johnny
why.
Guitar and Lost Wagon and Gun Fury and others.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I love it.
And so they used that movie set for dozens of movies after that. But we call it the Telegraph Office because that's when the building made its film debut.
So I have to say, there's a new platform that it's on. It's absolutely gorgeous. And thank you, Ernie. Was it Ernie and who else did this?
Ernie, Bill, and Pete.
So big shout out to you guys. We really appreciate all the work that you do around the Heritage Museum. They're amazing, amazing guys. Builders, they can construct anything.
Anything.
And you have to see this. It's quite the exhibit. It really is. It's fun. We have a huge history of making movies here in Sedona.
And we've got an exhibit about it in the Telegraph Office, fittingly. The movie making history in Sedona starts actually in 1923. So we've got over 100 years of filmmaking history
okay,
here.
forgive me, but is that like talkies at that time or not?
Yeah, it would have been silent movies.
Wow.
In 1923, and it was a film adaptation of a Zane Grey novel called The Call of the Canyon.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Zane Grey used to write his novels in the place where they were set. And then when it was time to turn them into movies, he insisted they get filmed in the right place.
Speaking of Call of the Canyon, we just, at the Heritage Museum, the Historical Society just purchased the sculpture. The sculpture was done by
James Muir.
The same
Fantastic
gentleman.
sculptor.
Oh, he's incredible. If you go to the Jack Jameson Memorial Sculpture Park, which is now by the UPS store in West Sedona, that's a little pocket park. Actually, I'm on that committee, and we put in a few of his sculptures, and now the Heritage Museum has the Call of the Canyon. Where is that going, by the way?
Yeah, it's going to be the northern anchor of the new and improved History Walk along 89A that people remember that there used to be history panels from along 89A in Uptown from Pink Jeep all the way down to LaBerge Lane. So the History Walk is back and anchored on the north end anyway, up by Pink Jeep, by the Call of the Canyon. And it's a really incredible sculpture. I mean, James is just such an incredible sculptor. We're really jazzed about it because it allows us to tell so many stories. I mean, it speaks to the art history here in our community and the amazing artists that we have here. It speaks to the cinematic history we have here. It speaks to the literary history of Zane Grey coming to Oak Creek Canyon, writing the novel. It's just an incredible work, and we're so lucky to have been able to acquire it.
It is. Those of you who have lived here for a while, you probably saw that outside of Exposures for a while. That's a gallery here off of 179 going into the part of Sedona that really starts coming alive where Tlaquepaque is and everything. And I just remember seeing this sculpture and thinking, what are they looking at? Because one of them is holding a lantern, right? And they're going somewhere. You can see there's movement. It's a beautiful piece, and I'm so proud of the Sedona Historical Society making this happen for all of us. Yeah. And so just one thing, let me ask you, have to ask. In the process of doing this, what was the craziest thing that happened? Fundraising, or maybe the whole thing? Because is it moved yet? It hasn't been moved yet, right? No,
it hasn't been.
Okay. Anything crazy behind the scenes of how this happened, or how did you acquire it? Who had the idea? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, actually, credit to Linda Goldenstein of Goldenstein Galleries. She represented James and came to us and said, "Hey, wouldn't it be amazing if the Historical Society could acquire this and use it to tell some of these truly amazing stories and, feature a local artist?" And it wasn't hard to sell me on that. That was just a great idea.
Oh, yes. And
so we did a whole fundraising campaign, and we've worked with the city. I have to say the city staff have been great partners in making this happen, and they're excited about what's possible with this too.
Yeah, the city of Sedona, we thank them very, very much for all of their support. They are really on board with us. Also, there's another gentleman, Steve Segner. He would never want me to mention him because he is by far a philanthropist here locally. And most philanthropists, like Steve, don't like their name being mentioned, but I'm doing it anyway because maybe that's my backstage thing, my moment. He owns El Portal. Wonderful, wonderful place to stay when you're here in Sedona. So remember that. Thank you, Steve, for all that you've done with that whole walk that goes up.
He's a huge. I mean, it wouldn't have happened without him.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's all credit to Steve for making it happen in the first place, and then he's really been a driving force in this reimagining of what it is.
Yes, by the way, El Portal is right near Tlaquepaque. When you park in the parking lot, it's kind of tucked away. If you decide to ever come here to Sedona, go over there, check it out, and then next time, get on over there and stay because it's beautiful. Well, I want to thank you, Nate, for being with us again. I'm going to see you next month in August. This is exciting. I can't wait. I am not going to be doing my Elvis Presley impersonation for Drumbeat.
Oh, come on. Do it. How about for today for this audience?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but it's a kind of visual too. It's not just. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a show sponsor. And we will see you next month. Everybody visit Sedona Heritage Museum and go say hi to Nate and thank him personally. All right. Take care. Take care, Nate. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Shondra.
Need a clean car fast? Come to Quicker Cleaner Car Wash. We'll have you sparkling and back on the road in just minutes. Whether you're after a quick shine or a deep clean, you'll get top quality service, eco-friendly soaps, and smiles all around. Drive up, shine up, and feel good, all without slowing down your day. And look like a star in your car. Located in West Sedona on Highway 89A. For more information, visit quickercleanercarwash.com.
You can taste it in every bite. For over 30 years, Chef Lisa Dahl has redefined what it means to dine in Sedona, serving soulful, handcrafted cuisine inspired by love, artistry, and community. From the wood-fired kitchens of Mariposa to the couture flair of Butterfly Burger, every experience is elevated, every ingredient intentional. To learn more about Lisa Dahl and the Dahl restaurants, please visit cheflisadahl.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Dahl Group.
Thank you for staying with me. I'm so excited to introduce you to a good friend of mine I've worked with many, many times, and you know her and you love her. She's been in this community for a very long time. Shaeri Richards, one of the most busiest individuals I know of in Sedona, and very talented. Thank you, Shaeri, for being here with us.
I'm so happy that I could be.
I know.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And this is a little turnaround because you've been doing tons of interviews with the Sedona International Film Festival, haven't you?
True. I'm usually the one asking the questions.
I know. Is this odd?
Not giving the answers. Yes, it's odd.
It is odd. It's like,
but it's fun. It's so fun.
It is. It's good to turn the table around a little bit, right?
Totally.
It's good. Well, you've been up to a lot, especially lately, but we're going to get to that in a minute because I think our listeners want to know more about Shaeri behind Shaeri Richards.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm
I
saying
mean, I
about
just
that?
have to say
Yes.
that when I first moved here, which was 32 years ago, I got a job because my career was radio and television.
See,
And
I
so-
don't know how many people know that.
Probably not many. But I did that for 30 years. And so when
Wow.
I got here, I'm like, I want to be a DJ. So I came over to Chasm, which is now Mellow Mountain Radio, right?
Yes.
And I got a job. I was the DJ, and it was so cool because in those days, most radio stations were incredibly programmed, meaning that even if you were the DJ, you're not picking the music. You don't have any kind of say on anything. But at Chasm, you could play classical, you could play blues, you could play whatever your heart desired.
Oh, my gosh.
Just pull it out and stick it on turntables and little 8-track tapes with the commercials and the PSAs, and it was super fun.
How fun is that?
Yeah.
And there's no limits at all.
No. Well, I mean, as long as it wasn't F the somebody,
But there wasn't in those days.
No, there wasn't any
I mean,
of that.
you have to remember that
Right.
even in the 90s, we didn't hear it. Well, maybe in the 90s we heard that. I take it back. But when were you doing that here? Were you in the 90s?
I
here?
was here in 92.
Okay.
92. And then I did a kind of metaphysical talk show called Soulutions, which I started here, SOUL, Soulutions. I did it here for a year, and then I went over to KQST and did it.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, but that makes sense to me because you are also a reader. You're a psychic reader.
Yes, that's right.
Dro, and also, what else do you do in that realm?
Well, the metaphysical part of me is probably not widely known by people, but for me personally, I was on a spiritual journey for my whole life. And a lot of it was just to learn to find myself. It sounds kind of cliche, but yeah, and to love myself even more than find myself. It was love myself. Because I did not have good self-esteem. I didn't like myself. And it took me a long time to discover how to learn to love myself and to let my light shine, which was really important because from the time I was a child, I wanted to be a performer. Right? Always wanted to.
The bug bit you.
Young.
How young? How young?
I mean, from the time I can remember, but I know I started in dancing school when I was 5. Okay. So, but I have to tell you, can I tell you a quick story?
Yes,
this is kind of a fun story.
Absolutely.
So I have a sister named Patty, and she was a mascot for the Kansas City Chiefs. And she was actually in the very first Super Bowl ever.
Wow.
Yeah. And so she was a tumbler, an acrobat. So I remember I'm 5 and she was 3. And so we go to this little dancing school in Kansas City where I grew up. And, I'm like the dancer and everything. And so, but the guy says, my mother puts her on the floor and the guy says, okay, let's see what you could do. And she starts flipping around, like aerial this and whatever. And I looked at that and I'm like, no one is ever going to pay attention to me ever again.
Aww. So that's kind of where that started.
Yeah. But then I went on, I did dancing school. She was the mascot, but I was always dancing and singing and wanting to perform. And when I got into high school, that's when I took up acting too. And I started doing plays. I did like 30 plays. And then I decided I wanted to, try my hand at acting. And I know this is like, I could be talking about you, right? Because you're very similar in terms of your background, right?
I got the bug
You got the bug
very early. Growing up behind the scenes in theaters, and my parents were performing.
Your parents were performers. That's when your mom was helping. Was she like an
first female talent agent in San Diego?
That's what I remember.
Prior to that, though, and she was doing a lot of acting. She was a musician.
Yeah.
We had musicians coming over to the house all the time, and my dad was acting, even though he wasn't a professional actor. This was a professional theater. They were both, and so my sister and I grew up behind the scenes. And I just remember all those days. So, see, I get it. I totally understand. This is why I did want to ask you when that bug bit you.
Bit me young.
Love it.
And then, but I didn't want to be the person that was in LA or wherever.
Okay.
Waiting tables.
Oh, yes.
While I was waiting for the call. So I ended up getting into radio and television. And that's kind of what led me there. And I figured, at the time I wasn't, that interested in, I was a newscaster. That's what I did for many, many years.
See, nobody knows it. I don't know this about you. You were into journalism. Did you study it in college?
I went back and studied.
Okay.
Once I got the job because I had this voice. I remember I was working at this little barbecue restaurant. I was very young, maybe 15 years old. And, they used to give away things on the radio.
Yes.
And so one day I called to win something, and I actually got in and won the whatever it was. And the guy who answered the phone, he's like, "You have a great voice. You should be in radio." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, okay. And so then I always remembered that. I still remember that, right? So,
yes.
So then eventually I went in the back door through something called the Columbia School of Broadcasting.
Oh,
Do you
a
remember
little
that?
something. Of course, we know that. Yes.
It was a course that you did by correspondence.
I understand, but it was a big deal.
And there was a local station that was working with them. And when I completed the course, I got a job.
And where was this?
This was in Kansas City.
Oh, so were you born there?
I was. I was born in Kansas City, and I started working at WHB. It was my very first job.
And how old were you when you did that?
It was 1979. I was 22.
Okay.
23, somewhere
Love
like
it.
that. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about the same time as if I'd graduated from college, but
right.
I didn't.
And so now, all right. Now you were a correspondent on TV as well as working radio.
Well, later I moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh.
I worked in radio there, and then I also had a TV job there, and I also got a grant and made a documentary there.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, I did a lot and that's where I really got more deeply into music. Into being a performer. So I was playing the guitar, messing around with it, and I started writing songs young, but I never got super good at the guitar.
Okay.
But
rhythm guitar or
I was saying
classical?
rhythm guitar, just rhythm acoustic. And I was a decent little songwriter. And
performing them?
Well, no, not really. So what I did was I decided that I wanted to have a little band, and I loved Cajun music. I fell in love with Cajun music. Oh my God, it's so wonderful. It's just this.
It is. This is joyful.
It's joyful, and it makes you want to dance. And the first time I went into a club and I saw all these people dancing with when I grew up, you dance like 5 feet away from the person you're dancing with, and you're just shaking around, but they're spinning and twirling and like swing dancing. Although there's a very specific kind of swing dancing.
Very different. Yeah, different, but so fun to watch and participate in. Right?
It's incredible. So I found this little club down the road on the other side of the Mississippi. So Baton Rouge is on the east side of the Mississippi. On the west side of the Mississippi is Cajun country. And I would drive like 40 minutes to this little club called New Lots. And they would dance like 6 or 7 nights a week. And so I fell in love with it. I learned how to do it. And then I came back to Baton Rouge, and I started teaching people how to do this dance. And then I started a band, and it was a Cajun band. And first it was just me and a fiddle player. And then I met my ex-husband, and he was a bass player. And he originally was playing jazz, but his electric bass burned up in a nightclub fire.
Oh, that's funny.
I know.
Okay, hang on. His bass What, blows up, basically?
It burned up in a nightclub fire. And
Don't hear that every day.
No, but it was like kismet. And so he wanted to learn stand-up bass. And it turns out Cajun music is very simple. And so he just learned how to play stand-up bass while he was in the band. And then we got an accordion player. And so then we had a band, and I was teaching dance classes. And so here I was, this little Jewish girl from Kansas City. But my stage name was always Richards, which down there is Richard. And so everyone thought I was French. And so I kind of started this whole Cajun music scene in Baton Rouge.
How neat. And then what happens? You move from Baton Rouge.
I did move from Baton Rouge. So what happened eventually is I ended up buying a set of drums because the people who were dancing wanted a heavier beat to dance to. And we had what's called a T-file, which is a triangle. We had a T-file player, and he's like, well, I'll learn to play the drums. It's very simple. It's like a 2-beat. So he learned to play the drums, and I had them. They were mine. So he didn't have any money. What musician has any money? So I learned to play them as well. And so I just gave up. The band folded, and I started playing the drums, and I ended up getting hired by a local blues guy in this little dive of a place, kind of in the part of town where most people who were our skin color didn't go. And he just loved it that this white girl wanted to come in there and play the
guitar. He must have loved you.
Oh, he did. And he hired me for $12 a gig to be his house drummer.
The big money.
$12.
The big bucks.
Yes, the big bucks. And so I played with him for a while. I mean, I was just getting started.
It's so wonderful, though.
But I always had good rhythm. And so, I started there. And then, I played with him for a while. And then eventually I moved here. And then that's where Sammy found me.
Yeah, so that's so interesting. A lot of people don't know this. Those of you who are in Sedona or have lived here, still living here, Shaeri was Sammy Davis's drummer. Now, I'm not talking about Sammy Davis Jr. Totally different guy. No.
Our Sammy Davis.
Our local Sedona celebrity, phenomenal singer and entertainer, Sammy Davis. And you were his drummer. And you were his drummer for how long?
Like 10 years.
10 years?
And we traveled all over. We had this insurance company that fell in love with Sammy. And they flew us to Bermuda. And they took us to Palm Springs. And we went to... can't think
a lot of places. Probably Mexico, too. He still goes to Mexico.
He goes to Mexico, I haven't been down there with him. But, it was wonderful. We flew kind of all over the world for this.
So now, did you ever play the drums standing up like a Sheila E. kind of thing? Did you want to?
No, I never even thought about that.
But you know what's so great is I've seen drummers who are women, okay? And this is... Back in the 80s when I was doing rock and roll, I remember going to this big rock club and watching the Battle of the Bands. I'm sitting there with my husband, Tom, and my sister or something, and I'm like, check it out. The drummer has high heels. That's a woman playing, and she's freaking great. And I just remember thinking, well, that's novel, because there weren't a lot of female drummers.
Back then, there weren't any. No.
I mean, really?
So it was always like, it was definitely a novelty. Not so much anymore. Well, actually, when I started in radio, it was still a novelty.
Yeah, and you don't see that many female drummers. Really? Not really.
More than there used to be.
Well, yes, more than there used to be. But so that was really ahead of that, which I think is great. You have to have a lot of strength, and it's an intense instrument.
Yeah, to play for 3-4 hours, it takes some energy.
Plus, there's a lot of schlepping.
A lot of schlepping. Ugh. But, so about 10 years ago is when... So eventually I quit with Sammy, and I went to film school. There was the Zachy Gordon.
I remember.
Yes.
Zachy Gordon Film Institute.
Yes, which is now the Culinary Institute, right? Is it still there? I was reading...
Yes, it's going away.
Yeah, I read that it's going away.
Also. So, and you were here during the days of the beginnings of Sedona International Film Festival.
I was. Yeah, I wasn't involved in the very first 3 or 4 years, but I have been involved for like maybe 25 years or something like that. Right. I think we're in the 30. I can't even remember.
I know
actually.
it's a ways.
It's hard to remember when I first started. I was started before Patrick.
Yes, because Patrick was working for Larson Newspapers.
Right.
See, now we're just having a private conversation here. This is what's going on, because some of you are like, I can't follow this.
Okay.
Now, I met you when Tom and I moved here. We were invited by Al Camello,
Yes.
to come to we were invited to meet Gary, who was in charge of
Good Morning Sedona.
That's right. And that was a networking breakfast show that was like a house of fire. I mean, it started at 7 a.m. You'd get breakfast, and then a half hour in, it was like the whole team would go, "Good morning, Sedona." And then we were off and running for an hour and a half. And remember, we were introduced to Gary, and Gary, and you started it? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, he and I started it together. He started it and invited me to be his co-host.
Gary Strom.
Yeah,
Caldwell Banker.
Right.
Right. And then Sandy Moriarty, our former mayor of Sedona, was also involved.
She was the treasurer for many years.
So good.
Yeah.
So we were invited to perform. And remember, immediately after that, and Al must have had it in his mind, because Gary came up and said, "Can you be part of the committee?" And then a year later, I ended up being the show director. And you and Gary were always the MCs. And then Gary moved. And you and I started emceeing it.
We did.
We had a good time.
We had a lot of fun.
Oh, my God.
We played well with each other.
We did. It was all those improv skills that we both had.
Which is another thing.
Yes, you're involved with the improv.
I'm in
folks.
improv troupe for the past more than a dozen years.
Oh, I know.
And now there's a new improv troupe that we're just beginning to perform a little bit called Third Ear Musical Improv, which musical improv is so fun.
It's intense.
It's so fun.
I've done a little bit of that, and it's really intense.
I love
Do you?
it.
Do you?
I just love
Good.
it. It's scary. It's a little nerve-wracking, but you don't have to rhyme. That's what you have to remember. You don't have to. It's cool when you do.
Yes, it is.
But you don't have to.
Yes.
That takes some pressure off.
Oh, it does.
Just tell the story.
Because that gets a little intense.
It does.
So you got to really be thinking faster. Wayne Brady is the best at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
right?
on Whose Line Is It
Whose
Anyway?
Line Is It Anyway? There are a few of them that are really great. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about the fact that you did make a movie about an Asian painter.
Yes, Alok.
Right? And that was a beautiful film. And it did win some awards, didn't it?
It went to a number of film festivals. I don't think we actually won any awards.
Well, it
but
should have, because it was
thank you.
gorgeous.
Yes, it was a beautiful film. Jerry, my husband, Jerry Hartleben, who's also the program director for the Sedona International Film Festival for the documentaries, co-program director along with Antigone Axanito. He shot it, and he was a professional cinematographer, so that was his background.
He's tremendously.
He shot 30-something. Those of us of an age will remember that show. People always loved 30-something. Those of us of a certain age, and he shot that for a season and did a number of films and many, many multi-million-dollar commercials all over. And he's an incredible cinematographer, and he made it so beautiful. And then I was pretty much in charge of the storytelling and the interviewing and all of that. And it's a very deep, meaningful film about finding your source of creativity, which Alok's whole thing, the film is called Moving from Emptiness, The Life and Art of a Zen Dude. It is available for free on YouTube, so you could just look it up and watch it if you are inspired to do so. Kino Lorber picked it up eventually, and so they've put it out there. And so moving from emptiness is basically getting quiet and just allowing the divine source of creativity to move through you, so to inspire whatever it is that you do creatively. For him, it's a Zen painting, so to move through you and to move the brush into a certain shape. And the bones of the movie is these classes that he teaches, and people have these amazing experiences when they're allowing themselves to surrender to this movement of energy, which is what we do in improv also, right?
That's right. We don't plan.
Don't plan. You have to be in the moment. You have to be present.
You have to listen.
You have to listen.
And respond.
Exactly. And so it's like that. And really people who are regular painters or whatever too, they're writers. I mean, I have a friend who just finished a novel. It's just like, I have to go listen to what's next, it's coming through her in some way. And then she's writing that down to the novel. So it's like,
when you get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
There's also called the artist's way. You ever heard of that?
Of course. Mindy Mendelsohn taught that here for many years.
Yes, and she learned it from the woman who created that whole concept, the same idea that you're talking about. And so do you feel that by doing that film, did that help you with, because you were the narrator of that, you were the one who was,
I was structuring it. So when I'm not in it, Alok narrates it, but I structured it.
But you structured it.
Yeah.
But then do you feel that led you to I mean, I know you've been hosting films, like we host films. I do it too. I've been doing it for years. Hosting films for the Sedona International Film Festival, and you've been doing that all along. And then it shifted into doing interviews online because of COVID, probably.
Right.
And all that new technology coming in because we needed it.
Exactly.
Do you feel that helped you get into the mode of interviewing, or does that go back to your radio days?
It goes. I've done radio talk shows. I mean, really, right here, a radio talk show years ago.
So that goes back.
It goes way back, but the ability to be present with another person, to listen, and to have a curious mind.
Right.
So to be able to just initiate conversation, like you and I are having this nice conversation, and so. Yeah, and then, of course, working with Zoom and developing those skills, and all of it came together. But it's been a real gift. It's such a beautiful thing for me to be able to meet with these mostly international filmmakers that can't make it here. So what I do is I get in contact with those filmmakers who can't get here because they live in France or wherever. And then we have our little 20, 25 minutes together, and it's beautiful.
They are wonderful interviews.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really good. And I saw the one that you did recently. I did not host this one. I don't think. I may have. It was about AI. That was intense.
I hope this helps. I hope this helps is the name of the film.
Oh, that was say,
something.
When I left the theater, I think I was altered.
Yeah.
Because that was scary. And it had a very interesting ending. The fact that this gentleman interviews and becomes friends with, very familiar with AI. And I think it was Google AI. I don't remember what group. I think it was Google. And after, I mean, it's huge development of a relationship, right? And then all of a sudden it disappears.
It does. Well, yeah, he lost it.
They changed it.
I don't know. Well, he lost all of his conversations.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and he was very upset about that.
Yeah.
AI is such a phenomenon. I mean, that's another whole conversation that I don't know we want to start right now. But it's a great film if you get a chance to see it. I hope this helps.
Yes. So now tell me about what you're doing. We only have a little bit of time left, so I want to get to this. You have also developed this whole singing and playing keyboards. This is something new, I think. Yes,
it is. So like 10 years ago, I decided I gave up the drums, but I never wanted to give up music. So 10 years ago, I decided I'm going to learn to play the piano. So I just practiced and taught myself to learn to play the piano. And I wanted to sing. I wanted to sing lead. And so I'd sung background for Sammy. But I just, my voice needed some work. There were a few little holes in the voice, which as a singing teacher, I'm sure you know about.
Yes, I do.
Sort of bridge, the passaggio, as they say. And so I wasn't sure I was going to actually get there, but I kept practicing and working it and finding different techniques. And finally, I got myself to the point that I am good enough.
I know you're doing it. I saw you recently, and
people really like it.
Yeah, you're playing all kinds of places. You're playing Vino de Sedona. You've got the Oak Creek Brewery coming up.
Yeah.
The 1012 Club, Alcantara Winery.
Yep.
So for those of you
and Chihuahua Mexican restaurant in Cottonwood.
Yes.
It's so delightful there. If you've never been, check it out. It's in Old Town. Chihuahua.
That's it. So you can find Shaeri at these places. All you have to do, of course, is look in the newspaper, look online. You can find where she's going to be and make sure you show up because she's excellent. You're going to have a great time.
And let me tell you, what I focus on is, I like to say jazz, pop, and blues. A lot of older classic songs, a lot of old jazz. I love stuff from the 20s, 30s, 40s. I have a very unique style, kind of Diana Krall-ish, you could say. There's some of that in there. And then people, you sound like Connie and somebody, and you sound like somebody. I don't know. People come up and tell me this. I'm like, okay, if they're famous, I'll take it.
Right? No, it's and I can tell you're having a great time.
I love it. It's so fun. It's just like a dream come true. I wasn't sure. I used to tell my friends, I'm practicing. I might be practicing for my next life. I don't know if I'm going to get there in this life, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love it. So if you have some kind of art form that you just love and it makes your heart sing, just do it. Do it. You never know where it's going to lead you.
I know.
Just do it.
It's so true. And bravo to you that you were able to make and manifest that.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of work, everybody. It's not just like you just think it and it happens. You have to actually put the work in.
You do have to put the work in. But I do want to go back to something I said in the beginning, which was that I didn't like myself, when I was young.
Okay.
There's stories, and some of them are in a book that I wrote that you can also check out.
Tell me about the book
It's
so
called
everyone knows.
Dancing with Your Dragon, The Art of Loving Your Unlovable Self.
Yes.
And I published it in 2011. It did win a couple of awards, Best
Good.
Spiritual Self-Help Book and a Reader's Choice Award as well.
Great.
And, a lot of the goals of my life have been to just help people know that you can love yourself, even no matter what other people might think or what you think they think or whatever it is. If you find that place in your heart and you start listening to your mind and find that critical voice in there that's telling you you're not good enough, you can learn to turn it off. And that's critical if you're doing anything like we're doing, where you're performing or improv or any of this stuff. You just be out there and you be yourself. And if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. And
Just
you just
yes
keep
and
going.
it.
You yes and it. You
Yes
keep
and
going.
it.
You keep shining your light. Keep letting your soul come through and keep loving yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Well, we're going to end on that note. That's a wonderful place. Thank you so much, Shaeri Richards, for being here. I know you'll come back.
Anytime.
Make sure you check her out. She is performing around Sedona. And just look in your local newspapers here, Kudos and Red Rock News, and you will find her there. All right, stay with me. We're going to be right back.
You've explored the trails, stood in awe of the red rocks. Now, discover how Sedona became Sedona. The Sedona Heritage Museum tells the story of Red Rock country, from ancient cultures to today's vibrant community. It's interactive, family-friendly, and open year-round, indoors and out. Sedona Heritage Museum, preserving and sharing the soul of Red Rock country. Plan your visit at sedonamuseum.org or call 928-282-7038.
Take a deep breath, then let it go. At Sedona's New Day Spa, your escape begins the moment you arrive. Enjoy luxurious massages, rejuvenating facials, and native-inspired body treatments. Every moment is designed to restore balance and renew your spirit. Voted Sedona's Best Day Spa, this is more than self-care. It's your sanctuary. Book your experience today at SedonaNewDaySpa.com or call 928-282-7502.
When your project demands precision, experience, and trust, turn to Sefton Engineering Consultants. From expert civil engineering to construction management, we deliver real-world solutions that stand the test of time. With over 30 years in the business, Luke Sefton's team is committed to getting your project done right, on time, and on budget. Sefton Engineering Consultants. Reliable, experienced, personal. Learn more at SeftonEngineeringConsultants.com. Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Doll Group.
Thank you so much for being with me here today. It was so much fun having Shaeri Richards and Nate Meyers with me. Oh, do you hear that? You know what this means if you've been listening to the show, and I know what it means. It's time for my shameless Shondra spot. Oh, I am so excited right now. We are 1 week away from filming Weird Detention. This is a movie that my Emmy Award-winning writer Dev Ross and I have been working on for over 5.5, almost 6 years now, and we're finally doing it. What a journey. And I'm excited to announce that our cast and crew, some of them are coming in from Phoenix, some are coming in from Los Angeles. We have 2 alumni coming in. One from L.A., who's in Vietnam right now, and another one that lives here in Sedona from Mingus Union High School, actors-singers Laser Lanson and Sarah Orbe. And our other principal lead kiddo is Aja Masters, and she lives here. It's all from Mingus Union High School. A big shout-out to James Ball, who, by the way, is in this film as well. That's right. You're going to see him. You're also going to see TV and movie star Gail Edwards from Full House. Also Jeff Masters, who I have been on stage with many times, and he is a wonderful actor. Sasha Loup Matier. That little kid, let me tell you something. He's a talent, and he happens to be the director's son. Amy Waddell, big shout out to her. And Mike Cheswith, who is coming in from Phoenix, who let me tell you, he's filmed Super Bowl commercials. This guy is hot. We got some really great people coming in. We've got 2 singer-actors from Los Angeles, and they are amazing. And our very own Susie Showmaker here in Sedona, she's also one of the singer-actors in this. It's thrilling. Now, I want to let you know that you can still make a tax-deductible donation at weirddetention.com because we do need a few more funds for post-production costs. And also would love for you to visit our new Facebook page. It's called Weird Detention, the Movie. And when you're there, like it and follow it. And we're going to be posting a whole bunch of videos and pictures, all kinds of fun things from behind the scenes there. So make sure that you check it out. weirddetention.com, weirddetention.com, and Weird Detention, the Movie on Facebook. Thank you again for being with me, and I want to thank my sponsors. Without them, I couldn't do this show. That's the Sedona Heritage Museum, Sefton Engineering, Quicker Cleaner Car Wash, Sedona New Day Spa, and my presenting sponsor, The Doll Group. And also, I want to thank my guest, Nate Meyers, the Executive Director of the Sedona Heritage Museum, and my dear, talented friend, Shaeri Richards. Oh, and I have to thank Ryan Thompson, my engineer, who I'm waving to right at this moment, and the station owner, Chuck Hellstein. And what is that station? KAZM, Mellow Mountain Radio, 106.5 FM and 780 AM. And remember, you can always stream these shows and music and more podcasts at mellowmountainradio.com. My show, Sedona's Backstage Pass, is always happening on Saturdays at 10 a.m. here at Mellow Mountain Radio and also on Apple Podcasts afterwards, so you can check it out there. Thank you guys for being here. And remember, next week, we got another great show for you. Great guests. Get your VIP pass back out next Saturday. See you then.